Ladies and gentlemen, here are the tossers. Gonna toss your sack.
Have you ever walked the lonesome hills or heard the canyons crying? I've seen the raven black as night upon the windswept sky. To walk the purple heather, hear the west wind cry. To know that's where the referee must die. Nonsense come will push us westward, and then I'm lonely by summer lost and aim to fight and to try. All right, a little Irish music to get you in the mood for that one Irish holiday we get a year. It turns out I took the forget what it's called, DNA test. I am 2% Irish. I don't know what 2% of me is Irish. I guess that'd be the fingernails, maybe the earlobes, not sure. 2% Irish though, authentic, genuine. This is Mockern Part 2. The burden of command weighs heavily upon me, and it has weighed heavily upon me for probably more heavily than usual the last few days. Laying in bed before I fall asleep, trying to consider how best to do this, telling myself I'm overthinking it. The usual, how to streamline it, how to improve it. And I think I'm slowly driving myself nuts. But that said, I can only imagine what I'm doing to you guys with this stuff. Rules changes, updates, etc. to the house ruled version of Commands and Colors. No, not too much. Roughly the same. We are still doing leader chit draw, which I've decided I am most comfortable with. And a few mere minor changes we'll speak of as we go along. Again, having to do with command. But I'm going to nail this thing. I'm not giving up. I consider it a challenge. Got the old Irish pub in the background. Don't know how long that will work or if it'll get interrupted by ads. That's a TV I use for the background there. Wheel it around on its stand from the living room to the game room here. So we'll see how that goes. And with that said, here we go. Toothpick in the mouth. This won't turn off. I don't know why is that. There we go. Okay. Draw our first chip. It is the Allies, so that's going to be number 7. Number 7 is. Actually, I was looking for something else. Let's move that there. Number 7 is. I assume I'm audible. Should not assume things. It's going to be this guy here. He is ranked 7 ranked leader. Now, one of the immediate changes that come to mind, and I've done the math on this, is I have been giving these guys a 3-hex command range. I think that might be a little too generous, so we're paring it down to 2 hexes, and with the math included, that gives a possible 18 total hexes that can have units that can possibly activate. So I feel like that's generous enough. I may eat those words, but that's what I feel like. Let's roll that 7 or less leader check. We got a 7, so he's in command. We will mark him as such with an in command marker from, guess what? The ASL Solitaire rule book, or module rather. So we'll mark him in command. Now, here's the next thing we have to do. We need to determine if there's any other leaders within 2 hexes, and there is. With lad leader is ranked higher, so there's no bearing this go around for him, this 8-1. So he will have to wait. If there was a leader ranked lower than this 7 ranked leader, he would automatically be in command as this 7 ranked leader is in command. Now, That not being the case, we need to mark everyone, and this seems a bit tedious, but remember, it's not that I'm explaining things to you, I'm explaining things to myself here. So we need to, and these guys are automatically in command. Why? Because if you remember, the leader passed his command check. So within 2 hexes consists of the units I am marking thusly. Which you probably, yeah, I'm on camera, so we're good. 1, 2 there, 1, 2 here. And that right there works out fine. Plenty of units now are activated in this 2 hex range. In fact, a total of, let me make sure I haven't forgotten anybody, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units that will be doing all kinds of crazy, wacky, wild stuff. You probably wouldn't believe it if you didn't see it. So let's go ahead and do that. We've got light cavalry that can move 3. Really nowhere to go unless I go around the right here, off camera, of course. 1, 2, 3, and I guess I'll just do that. I mean, I'm got to start doing something here, so we'll move them. To reiterate, I do think obviously, case in point, right now, I think I overthink things. There is a statement in itself. Horse artillery can move 2 and do nothing, but I'm stuck only moving 1 because, and I need to remember to mark these guys that are doing stuff as an important aspect of this part too, because they can only do stuff once. We're going to have turns here, so that's a little bit different. So no multiple 2, 3, 4 consecutive goes. That might kill some of the fun. We'll see how that works out. So that's moved. Heavy cavalry. Again, same problem. Don't really know where to go with these guys. We'll move 1 hex up. That's really all I can do. Nope. Take that back. If we move the grenadiers up 1, we will have nothing in range after doing so. However, we free up space behind the grenadiers for the heavy cavalry to move 2 hexes instead of 1 hex. A brilliant idea. This guy here. The other thing to consider that I didn't mention is when you do start your command, roll for activation, etc. Units that are out of command remain out of command during that activation. So you can move the leader, but, and that is to say, move the leader closer to closer to units that are currently out of command. It does not bring them in command this activation. The following activation, they will be in command. If any of that makes sense. Grenadiers here are willing and raring to go, but have nowhere to go. Nothing to fire at, so I'll have to pass on them. Now, does that count as an activation? Does that count as a go? They didn't do anything. Good question. Something to consider. I want to say no because they didn't do anything. So then we'll move. This is, I forget, what is this? Can I? Oh, look at that reach. Wow. Phone pole reach there. These guys are, is that militia lancers? That's weird. So they're like lancers, which would typically be cool, but they're sucky lancers, I guess, eh? And that should still be a movement of 3 hexes, if I recall. 3 hexes. Militia, this is Prussians. Why would that not even be on here? Here with light lancers, or militia lancer, thank God. That is 1, yeah, throw up to 3 hexes. So I don't know if I have. Cat is watching diligently. 1, 2, 3. Wow, okay, cool. 1, 2, 3 it is. Also, something else that is new that I forgot to do. You don't need to activate or be in command to do rally checks. In fact, that needs to start the beginning of each turn. And it might sound weird to hear the word turn and commands and colors, but that's essentially what we've inadvertently created here is turns 1, 2, 3. So there we go there. Mark them. These are Prussian militia lancers that have moved up. I think that takes care of everything. Everybody's happy, everybody's good, yes. So let's try and roll our rally checks. I think we only have one here that needs to do so. Again, you don't need to be in command or activate to do rally checks. This is different from what we've usually done. It'll be 7 or less, and he got it, so he's back. Had he failed, he would remain broken. Pretty simple and straightforward. Okay, that's done. That brings us to probably I did that entire segment off camera. I wouldn't be surprised. The things you guys put up with. Let's draw another chit. I think one was stuck to me. French get a turn, looks like. Also a 7 ranked leader number 6. Pretty much in the center, so let's roll his check and see what happens. I got a feeling he will fail. Oh, and he rolled a 12. Does that mean anything? In the perfect world, it would, but not right now. So, yes, he failed miserably. So that means, and this is different as well, everybody within 2 hexes we make note of, and we will roll for everybody. This sounds like a lot, but we are going to roll. So we can't activate this unit. Why? Because it has an attached leader of higher rank. But we can activate this unit. So, and there's some other caveats that we'll run into. Say, for instance, if we had activated this 8 leader, he rolled his command. This 7 leader, who's within 2, would automatically be command, and then everybody within 2 of the 7 leaders. So you can have advanced bonus activations, I guess, depending on how you want to look at it. So 1, 2, that should be it. All right, let's roll our command checks. And I think it is, and I shouldn't think, how about we just look? I think it's 6. Let's see. Looking. Dungeon Brush Babbles. Yeah, they need to be special, don't they? I haven't worked out yet. If it was a rally test, those doubles 12 would mean I lose a strength point. So I have worked that out. And if it was a 2, I would gain a strength point. That's on rally, but I haven't worked out a 2 or a natural 12 for command checks. I'm looking to see, and I'm looking at this, that's why it's taking forever. I'm looking to see if I need to roll a 6 for individual units, a leader, a squad equal to its current morale level. So that's going to be an average of 7. So we'll just say 7 for sake of argument here. Can variate that in the future. Let's start with light cavalry failed. So we need to mark them, right? Because if they potentially want to activate again, they're not allowed. So that's what we use to mark them. They failed, so they're done. Now we roll on to the next one. So again, this is a little different. Had been doing this where an immediate fail would be immediate end of turn, draw new chit. Trying something a little different here. These guys are in command. So we'll mark them. Well, actually, we'll leave the die there for that. Let's go to these guys. They failed miserably. See, there's another 12. This could be interesting if I were to determine what this meant, but I'm yet to do that. Maybe they like spontaneously combust or catch fire or something. 3, 4, 5. These guys are good, and then these guys here. I'm digging this. I feel like, because, as much as I want this to be a game, I still want it to be somewhat realistic. I mean, it's just, I can't help it. And it's that forever, looking for that forever Goldilocks. Not too simmy, not too gamey. It's really hard. I'm driving myself somewhat batty trying to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4 units are now able to do things. So let's go ahead and fire point blank with this horse artillery at, it looks like Russian light at 1 hex range. However, they are in some wooded stuff. That's going to drop one of the dice. And then, so horse artillery, full strength, 1 hex range melee. That's 3 blocks, drops to 2 blocks because of the woods. So 2 dice. And we got a 5. So, no, we didn't get a 5. We got a 4 and a 1. Switch gears here. So we got infantry. No, wait. Artillery hit. I'm just like, my brain just reset like 3 times there. So a 3 to a 2. What am I doing? I'm marking them. See, I'm losing my mind here. They should be 3 strength, drop to 2 strength is what I'm trying to do. I need to verify that Russian light begins 3 strength. Yes, they do. That's what happens. Mark them as having done something so they don't activate again. This is all as it should be. Now we have a full strength line, French line unit firing at, nope, that's going to be melee at the same unit. And do we gain a die for, yes we do. That's going to be 5 dice, but the wood, so it's just 4 dice. 4 is good enough. 4 dice. And if they survive this and don't retreat, the Russians can battle back. In theory, they have 2 flags, so it won't be happening, and 2 hits, so they're gone. So that unit's gone. The Russian lights have been lit. And a victory flag for the French, who are in the lead in that respect. If I'm talking funny, it's because I have a toothpick in my mouth. It's kind of a habit that I'm trying to break myself. I don't even know how it started. But the toothpick thing is a habit I picked up about a few months back. I don't know. Don't ask me to explain myself. I don't know. Let's see, there's that. What do we need? Mark them as having done things. I'm using these little tile grout markers. They come in handy for a lot of things. They're easily painted. If you want them red, if you're going to lose sleep because they're white. But those tile grout markers, they come in handy for a lot of stuff. I've got a whole bevy of them here and a risk tray. Use them for a lot of things, almost as much as the little arrows that came in a different risk game. And these guys that came in a bona fide bookshelf war game. So kit bash, all kinds of stuff. Victory flag. Keep track of what's going on here. French now have 5. The Allies have 1, and we need, for God's sakes, 15, so 10 more for the French. When fun's not over yet, we've got these guys are going to stay here, nothing in range, so that's done. Didn't do anything, though, so we're not going to mark them as having conducted an action. Lancers. Thinking. I don't want to block, if I move here, I'm not blocking. Yeah, let's move here. We're not really, nope, let's move here. But we will change facing. That is another thing, house rule that I've got in here. I've got facing in here. There's no 360-degree omniscient firing attack range. And I'm tentatively working on, I said I wasn't going to do this. Well, I'm somewhat done it. Tentatively working on, and there should be this. I don't care if it's baked in or not. I don't think it is. A bonus and penalty for firing and conducting melee, depending on if in your line or column, versus infantry in line or column. I thought I could live without that. I just can't. There needs to be something in there. And if you move more than one hex, you need to be in column. I don't know what's wrong with me, so that's what's got to happen. Next chit, draw. Sorry if I'm a little too chatty Cathy tonight. It's a Friday night. What do you expect? There's the allies, leader number 5. Leader number 5 is Russian leader number 5, the 8th ranked leader. We'll go ahead and roll him right off the bat. And he is good to go. Mark him with an in command marker. And did we mark him with one? We did not. Let's do so now, shall we? That means we need another one of these. You guys got any questions as I go? You're not going to interrupt me. I'll see them and respond in best of my ability. So now we mark comments, whatever, math problems, weather forecast. So this guy is good to go, as is this. 2x command range now instead of 3. 3 was a bit too generous. Kind of felt like it was. That leaves 18 potential hexes of things to activate, so I think that's plenty. So here we go. Here's an example of extended command range, or as I just now decided to call it that. Say 8-1 leader. Again, units used from squad leader and translated to this. Because he's a higher ranked leader and he passes command check, this lower ranked leader is always automatically in command as well, and he can throw his range 2 hexes. And if he can reach into it, he can. No, he can't. I was going to say there's a 7 ranked leader over here. If he could throw his range far enough over here, he would also be in command, and as would everything, 2 hexes around him. So that could be an interesting spontaneous chain of command development thing there with that. I haven't experienced yet, but I like it. So there's that one, this guy here. And then that's it. Yes. No, because he's now in command. So this, 1, 2, and 1. I think that's it. 1, 2. This 7 rank leader is just out of command, so that's kind of a drag. And if I move him closer, it's not going to matter, because then he'll be. Well, if I move both these guys the next time, we could do that, huh? Let's mark him. I need these and this and that. I need another in command marker since that lower ranked leader is now in command. It is as if he rolled his own command check. So there's that. So again, we'll move these leaders, but it's not going to affect anything now, which is why I mark these guys ahead of time so I don't fool myself into thinking things are now in command that weren't, that shouldn't be. But the next turn, look out, because we will have this whole area here, minus this guy, I guess. Anyway, this whole flank over here is going to be in command, so that's awesome. So now we decide what to do, eh? Well, these guys aren't doing jack squat because there's nothing for them to do, so we'll pull that off and not mark them because why? They didn't do anything. We'll move these guys. Let's bring them around. I was going to pull them. There's no point in putting them there, so let's bring them around here and be done with them. Nothing in range to fire at, so that's the end of that. Mark them as having conducted an action. Let's move over here so I can think better. Let's start with this artillery, and then I've got a bunch of infantry decisions to decide. We have full strength Russian foot artillery, 2 hex range, firing at French line infantry. That should prove fairly brutal. Let's see if that prophecy comes true. At what range did I say? 1, 2 hex range. Full strength. That's 3 dice. No cover for them because that just sucks. Let's see. What do we get? We got a hit and a flag. Flag can be ignored, so they'll drop from a 3 to a 2 and take another shaken marker. Shaken, but not yet breaking. Mark that unit as having done the thing because they do the thing. Take that away. Now we got to worry about what to do with this Russian infantry. Move them up. They're not doing any good sitting there. In fact, if you remember, one of the victory conditions is to be moving these allies off of the French base of the table. So we need to be doing that. Let's go. These guys can actually fire. They don't need to move, even though I just said I should move. No, let's move. Here's why. Because then we can do melee. Russian light infantry now adjacent to the same French line unit that is now 2 strength. Off camera, guys. Sorry. 2 strength. Let's take care of that, and I'll check comments. On this Russian light infantry, we're looking at 2. He moved 1, not 2, so he can battle, and he is 3. So that's 3 dice. 2 hits, and that French unit's gone. I got 1 hit and a flag. Again, flag can be ignored, so he'll drop the 1 and break. So he will not be able to battle back. He broke. House rule in effect. And then we take, so that opens up a lane, right? So then now, instead of having nothing to do, this guy can now move up to take that newly vacated real estate. Mark him as having conducted an action. Because he did. And what is this die for? That's no longer needed. So I have 3 more units here. Everything out of range here. Let's move light infantry up 1 and take some shots at the cavalry here. This would be the heavy cavalry. I'll make sure I'm doing this correct. Light infantry, yes, I can do that. Moving ranged fire, full strength is 3 dice. Roll 3 dice. We're looking for 3s, ideally. And this is going like this. No 3s, awesome, cool. So we got absolutely nothing going on there. 2 more units. Let's move this guy here. That's 1, and we can conduct moving ranged fire for him as well. It's going to be full strength on him will be 3, so we won't have much, if anything, firing into the town, which loses, is that 1 die? I think it's 2 dice. Yep. Well, typically it would be 2 dice, and we lose those 2 dice for firing into the town, so he's got nothing he can do at this point. And then finally, the artillery on the hill will fire. That's foot artillery that benefited from a pre-battle Mother Russia roll. So he's jacked up to 4 strength instead of 3. Mark him as having done a thing. Russian foot artillery. Range of 2 is just going to be 3 dice. But again, you lose 2 because they're in the town, so it's 1 die. And we got a hit, so we can whittle away at them. That'll be now a 4 to a 3 with a taking, call it taking fire marker, but I should call it a shaken marker. Once you get more shaken markers than strength points, then you break. That's how that works. All right, that was the Allied turn. What do we got next? Let's recenter the camera and take a look. Comments, what we got going on here? What game system are you playing tonight? This is a hijacked game. I'm partial to commands and colors because it just provides so many ready-made scenarios, and I like the commands and color system enough, but yet not enough. So there's house rules in effect. A little system I call now shake and break, and yeah, so that's what we're messing with. What else? Just found you and liking it. Thank you for joining, Kieran Kravshira. And thank you for the comments, Ryan. All right. And then are the Russians based differently than the French? Good eye, actually, no. Unless you mean formation wise. So they are in, not that it has any bearing on the game other than aesthetics. The Allies are based in line formation while the French are in attack column. So yes, in that respect, they're different, but otherwise they're not based differently as such. Everything on the table is Warlord Epic, yes. I don't know. The Russians, I'm using the Prussians for the Russians. In fact, they've even got Prussian flags. There are no Russians or Austrians yet for epic battles. Hoping there will be someday and probably be a while. And I feel like I know what all the next releases will be because they're going in reverse order historically. If you think about it, they did American Civil War, then backed up to the Napoleonic Wars, then backed up to Pike and Shot. What comes after that? Uh, War of the Roses, and then what comes after that? Probably Ancients, and then they'll probably, hopefully, jump back to other things, or maybe do an intermittent release of. I've already said if they just release the Russians, I'll be happy. I can live without the Austrians, but I hope they do at some point. All right, next. Thank you for the comments, guys. Much appreciated. It makes this that much more fun. You're not interrupting. Trust me. French again. The luck of the draw. This would be leader number 8, ranked 7. And he has no other leaders within 2 hexes, so it's just going to be him. I'll do his command check. He'll need a 7 or less. He rolled an 8. He failed. He is not in command. Naughty, naughty. So now we roll for everybody within his command reach. That's 2 hex reach. And that's going to amount to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. We'll start with the heavy cavalry here. 7 or less on that guy. He failed. So he gets a little. I'm using panic buttons, but the panic doesn't mean anything. Just read that as out of command. And then this, he's screwed because he's broken, so he's kind of out of the fight right now. Let's roll for the artillery, 7 or less. He's in command, so that's good to go. Leave the die there. Light cavalry, nothing they can really do, but we'll roll it anyway just to see what happens. And they're in command. And then the French square that's being molested by 2 units of 1 Russian light cavalry and 1 Russian Cossack unit. He is also really, he failed his command as well. So that leaves, this is a very poor command segment for the French here with only 2 units. But can't argue with point blank foot artillery full strength fire at some light cavalry. So let's just resolve that, shall we? Foot artillery point blank fire ranged is 4 dice. 3s rather on this. 3s. We got no 3s. We did get 2 5s. Those would count. And then the other 2 were infantry hits. So on the Russian light cavalry, that's a starting strength of 3. So they drop to 1 and take a shaken marker. So they're on the threshold of breaking, but not yet broken. Mark it all as such. Mark him as having taken an action. Good to go there. And then what do we want to do with the other unit, which is light cavalry, that's kind of stuck behind everything, can't go off the edge of the table. That's the edge of the world. 1, 2, 3. We'll bring him around here. How about that? And be done with him. Okay. Next. We draw another check. We'll check comments again here. You've been painting some Confederates? I just did a small Civil War battle recently, and I've seen how they paint up, and they look really good. I just don't have it in me to do it. I'm all in with Ancients, too. I could take or leave. I'll be as nice as I can about it, because I know people like it. I could take it or leave it when it comes to Pike and Shot. But if they do ancients, I'm all in. That's my gateway into the ancients. So all that stuff. In fact, I even picked up. I said I was going to do this, and it came in the mail. I'm yet to really devour it and comprehend what's going on. But this is the new Hail Caesar thing. So this is step one for me towards ancients. The other thing, which is very trivial. What did I just draw? See, I'm talking and I need to shut up. Number 4, right? Yeah, that's what I drew. So the other thing, and it's very trivial when it comes to ancients, I love the way regarding specifically the Romans, I don't like any of the enemies of the Romans as far as what they look like, painting them and all that stuff. I can't, I would love to get the Romans, but then I feel like all their foes just look hokey to me. All right, so leader number 4. This guy here now, he is rank 7 leader. He cannot throw his command back towards this unit. He's already activated anyway, but well, that presents another question as well. But anyway, he's a higher ranked anyway, so that wouldn't count. So let's roll for him. And he failed. He failed miserably, so he's out of command. 7 ranked leader, worthless, common street filth. Not worth the cardboard your stats printed on. Okay, 1, 2 hexes. So these guys, marking everybody within 2 hex range, and then we do command rolls. Those guys already activated, so this, and this. That's it, eh? Yes. So let's roll their activations. And we're doing 7 or less on these guys. Let's start with the Cossacks here. Nailed it. Let's start. Move on to the light cavalry here. That's down to 1 stinking strength point. Got it there. And then light cavalry here. 7 or less. Ooh, we rolled an 8, so he's no good. And let's mark him as out of command, in fact. It's always good to keep track of things. You can never use, well, I guess you can use too many markers, but these guys here, they failed as well. That's a 9. Good Lord. And I'm out of command markers. And this guy here, what's he going to do? 7 or less on him, more cavalry. He's going to fail. Okay, that's cool. Did I use them all? Yeah, I need more command markers. So let's find some more. These guys here. I'm using these, as I said, I'm using these little panic markers for out of command. So how many did get command on this segment? We've got, looks like 2. Really? That's it? Okay. 2, one of them's almost dead. So let's start with the Cossacks here. And you don't need to be in command to battle back, all right? That's a given. So since they're in square, the square always rolls first. They did get a hit, so the Cossacks, who are typically 2 strength, are now 1 strength with 1 shaken marker. So they'll battle back with 1 die, looking for 1s and 2s, 5s as well. 6s may even work. 1 die, not 2. Just said that. He got a hit, so French light infantry in square will drop from a 4 to 3 and get a shaken marker. Put that right in the center of the square there. And then continue on with the light cavalry that's almost decimated. Again, square battles back first. He got, they're gone. It's the end of that. Good job, square. This cavalry's now gone. Light cavalry spent. Victory banner for the French. You now have 6 looking for 15. That's what we're wanting for either side. Allies only have 1 victory banner, so a bit of a landslide at this point. Our Davu Commander Focus series, he finally gave up the ghost and failed in a historical battle. I forget which one it was. So that was the end of that. He had a pretty good run. We were trying to see if we could match his undefeated historical record, and we could not. So poor Davu. Everybody good here? All right. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Join another chit. Spree center the camera. Check the comments. Ryan says, I've been watching a bunch of your old vids. They've been great. I had fun doing them. Actually, just found you maybe a month ago. All the games you've played, which one has the best command rules in your opinion? I'll have to think about that. And if you need to remind me, do so. But I can't answer that off the top of my head. I will come back to it. Trying to find a good command-based system. I know you've played a lot of them. Looking for something that really reflects the Napoleonic chain of command and flow of orders from higher level command to lower. That's tough. Are you looking for board game stuff? Are you looking for miniatures rules? That will help me narrow it down. Let's see. French number 4 is over yonder, and this is a potential extended command throw. So yes. Why? Because he is ranked 9 neg 1. No, it's 9 neg 1. This guy's ranked higher, so we can't throw command over there. But he's lower, so if he passes, this guy passes because he's within 2 hexes. So let's see if he passes. So that's going to be 9 or less. Should nail that. Roll a 3, good to go. In command. Didn't I just say I need more of these? Mark him as such. Make it so, Captain. All right, there's those. Make sure I'm doing this properly. 9 neg 1. 8 neg 1. Neg is negative. That's how you read the second number. It's an ASL thing. So now we mark everybody within 2 hexes of all that stuff. It's like Christmas with all this stuff that's going to activate. Like a bunch of presents exploded on the table here. I don't like that that's a different color. Go away. Marking everybody that's within 2 hexes so we know what's going on. And we can keep track of everything, and everything is fluid. And everything is beautiful and nothing hurts. Anybody know what that quote's from? So it goes. How about that quote? All right. So yeah, that's what we want. And everybody's in command. Why? Because our initial leader check, command check passed. And so we're good to go here. Speaking of commands rules that I like, I don't know how accurately, in fact, it probably doesn't reflect any accuracy as far as the Napoleonic era, but pretty much the command system I'm using at this point is lifted almost directly from the one single page of rules in the Solitaire Advanced Squad Leader section. It seems to work out pretty good. But I'm still considering your question. All right, so we need to do stuff. We'll start off here, firing 1, 2, 3 hexes away at Prussian light infantry with French full-strength foot artillery. 2, 3 hex range is 2 dice. What do we want? 1s and 2s. Again, for anybody that doesn't know, I don't like the dice that come with commands and colors. I don't like the hokey stickers. So I use dice 1 and 2 is infantry, 3 is cavalry, 4 is artillery, 5 is sabers, and 6 is flags. Plus they roll better. Those dice that come in the base game are too big and bulky and squarey and boxy. So what did I say? 2 dice? See, I'm talking again. I already lost track. What the hell's going on? Yes, 2 dice. Ooh, we got a hit. It looks like they already have a hit. So what does that mean? Now means... Oh, that's the one that rallied, I think. Yeah, he's gone now. A lot of good it did him, huh? They're now, they rallied so they can die. That's great. Another victory banner for the French. It just seems to be working out like that. Mark them as having conducted an action. Pull the die away. Victory banner for the French, which now amounts to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're just under halfway there. Again, cue the Bon Jovi song. There's that and the other. What else can I do? Done there. Okay, good. Nice job, artillery. And then we have more artillery, but wait, there's more if you order now. These guys are going to do things. And let's mark them now. That'll be 2 hex range, so that means what? 3 dice? Am I to understand that that's what that means? Yes, 3 dice. Again, 1s, 2s. Don't know that 6s will help anything. There's 2 hits right there. Awesome. Actually, 3 hits. That's a 4. And actually, I take that. Nope, 4 is artillery. I got a little too excited. So 2 hits. No, they're not marked. So it's just line infantry will drop from a 3 to a 1. Calm down, Russ. Pipe down, Russ. I just pipe down. Vacation quote. When Chevy Chase gets the new shoes from his cousin, and Russ is like, "Oh, Dad." It's not important. All right, next. Cavalry on a hill. Cavalry on a hill. You know, actually, let's move these guys up 1. Here. Maybe that's a bold, stupid move, but I'm sure my arm's blocking everything. I'm fully aware of that. Should use my other arm to do this. And he's done. Do we want to do anything with the cavalry? No, we're not doing anything with the cavalry yet, so leave them there. Another unit here, nothing to fire at. If we move up, we'll have moving ranged fire we can use. Let's do that, eh? 1, 2. Leave him here. I'll mark him as going to have spent an action. Moving ranged fire on that should be 2. And it is. Let's roll 2 dice for that. Firing at the unit that was just fired at there. Got a hit. Is he gone? I think he's gone, y'all. We got a hit in a 6. He's down to 1. He's gone. Another French victory banner. This is crazy. Okay, maybe not that crazy, but it's crazy. That makes 8. Now 8 victory banners for the French who have really cleaned up this turn. French victory banner there. Put these guys here, which is a bad idea because I'll need to be able to flip through this rule book at some point, but it's just collecting dead allies right now. 7, 8. Isn't that what I said? 8? Or is that 9? I'll have to retally. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm tallying now. I want to make sure this is right. 5. 6. 7, 8. Yeah, it's 8. Okay. Who's next? Folks in the town got nothing going on either way, so they'll take a pass. And I'm not moving them out. Staying in there. Too well protected to move out of there, so that's the end of that. Who's next? So there's going to be times when we pull chits of people that have already done a thing because they've already activated. So how does that work? I don't know. So just now, right? So what just happened? He activated, brought him into command because he passed his command check. Now we've drawn his chit, so he's going to have to just. There's nothing he can do. He's done it. Draw another chit. You could play this a different way and say these guys get to activate again, but I'm just trying to steer away from that. Maybe that's a bad idea. That's how I've been playing it. Why would I change it? I don't know. These are all good questions. 7, this guy here. French again. That's what matters. 8 or less. Let's roll his command check. He passed with flying colors. So that means, it looks like all that means is units in towns get to throw some lead at this guy here. Let's make it that happen. We'll start here, mark them. I also have to remind myself that there's no perfect system. There's just, you can't perfect it. If you think it is, it's garbage. If you think something's great and wonderful and perfect, throw it away. It's not. So 4 dice going in to this Russian line unit. And that's going to yield 1 hit and 1 flag. Well, they can't ignore that flag. If they were the Prussians, they could, because Prussians have 4 iron will counters that they can use to ignore flags. Russians do not. Unless I'm reading the rules wrong, and I can use the Prussian iron will counters for the Russians, but I'm not reading it that way, so I'm not doing that. Okay. Good. And then this guy here can no longer fire at the unit it wanted to, but so we'll be forced to fire at the light infantry here. That's also 4 dice. We will also want 1s and 2s. 6s are fine. We got 1 hit. So he'll drop from a 3 to a 2 and take a shaken marker. There. We'll mark him as having conducted an action. And everything seemingly seems to be working. Got a few chits left. Some of these will be defunct because of leaders that have already activated. Miniatures games, but I love Battles on the Planet, so I don't rule out. Yeah, you can hijack systems from board games for miniatures and vice versa. And if, I kind of consider, you already mentioned it, Battles of Napoleon, Eagle and the Lion. You could argue that's both a board game and a miniatures game. And I find the command system in there really good. It's playable, it's gameable. It adds an added challenge. It might be, so I might find it too strict because you have to maintain that adjacent hex thing to have guys in command. You don't have like just a general throw range, hex range for a command. You have to be adjacent. So this will be an allied go, leader number 3, unless he already went. He already went. 2 more chits left. 3. Allied. Allies again. This is going to be leader number 8. What's he got going on? Did he already go? Leader 8 has done nothing. He's sat idle, revving his motor. He's an 8-ranked leader. He has no other leaders within throw range below his rank, so it's just going to be him and his buds. Let's roll for him. 8 or less. 3, 4, 5. Nailed that. And now let's mark everybody that's within 2 hexes. Get all this stuff transported over here. Oh, for God's sakes, I need one of those. I'm trying to do everything so that there's no confusion later. Do the work now, save time later. Okay, yes. Mark him. It's going to be 1, 2. So here. So again, it seems like a 2 hex range might be a little too stringent, but we're getting plenty of units to activate. Now again, this is a table that's fairly flooded with units at this point, at least. It's an epic scenario, so epic scenarios tend to have a bit more, even though they have more table space to contend with, more on-table units. So again, with just a 2 hex range, we're looking at this guy already went, so he can't go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. That's a fair number of units to do anything with. What we're going to do with the Lancers, we're going to put the Lancers right here and be done with them. That's a 2 hex advance for the Prussian Lancers into the wood. They're done. And then we've got 3, potentially 4 infantry units that can do stuff. Depending on if one of them move, we'll have the 5th one can do something. I don't foresee that happening, so we'll take that and pass. That leaves fire from this light infantry unit here. And I don't know if they get, it's going to be 3 strength Russian, no, Prussian. Well, it's not 3 strength Prussian. Light infantry is 4. So it's 5, and then it drops to 3. Why? Because they're in that walled farm. 3 dice coming in there. Okay, this could be interesting. We did roll 2 flags. I don't think they can't ignore any of them technically, but unless the farm has an inherent ignore flag capability, we have to check that. We could have flushed those French out of that walled farm, and I think that could yield a potential victory banner for the Allies. We need to check and see how walled farms operate, and I bet it's not on this chart that I have. What do you want to bet? Let's see. Morale effects. Infantry, ignore 1 flag there. That's for forest with field works. There we go. Walled farm. Ignore 1 flag. Ooh! So there you go. Oh, the camera's off. I'm sorry, guys. Again, I apologize. Redirect the camera. We flushed them out of there, so if you wanted to be fair, you could say you would have needed to designate ahead of time what each unit was going to do to conform to the sending out of orders, because you don't know how things are going to turn out. And I would have said all 3 of these guys are going to fire. And that's what they would have done, but we've pushed them out. So what I really should have done is anticipated that and decided that 2 of them will fire and 1 will move. That would have been the better play. And the one that moves should have been designated as the light infantry because they can move 2. So I can advance with 1 of these guys, but I can't. That's not going to allow me to advance into the walled farm, but we'll be adjacent to it. And then all that's going to happen probably, and it will depend on who activates first, leader-wise, is the French will most likely repopulate the walled farm. There's that. And, well, hell, I mean, there's nothing you can do now except move, so might as well move. So that's another thing to consider is how strict do you want to house rule your commands? That have to pre-designate them and follow through with them. It can be a bit of a challenge. So there's the end of that. We're moving right along here, y'all. And then, as mentioned, our fifth unit can, in fact, move up 1 hex. This Prussian militia unit there. Okay. What's left? 1, 2 chits, I believe. Timestamp, we're looking at just about an hour. Maybe we'll finish. Yeah, let's finish with these 2 chits and call it a night. I'll hang out just for a second for any further critiques, comments, questions. I don't know if there's anybody else. Yeah, we do have a French, and that's him right there. I was just looking at him. Look at all that stuff. You think I was going to forget about him? No way. And he's a 9-ranked leader, so watch him fail. That's probably what will happen. 9 or less. No, he got that. So he's in command. Let's mark him, shall we? That means everybody, as expected, everybody within 2 hexes is also now in command. That means this guy here with nothing to fire at, and he's staying there, so we'll just leave him alone. The artillery can now fire at something. He cannot. He will, as mentioned just 30 seconds ago, will move back into the walled farm. Did I not say that would happen? This guy will move up. This guy will move up, as will this guy and this guy. That's going to be the extent of what we can do. We've got that French light infantry unit just across the stream there, out of command range, waiting patiently to join the action, hop in the fray. If we move in here and conduct melee, they can battle back. So I'm not doing that. I will move in here, but I am going to neglect to conduct melee and risk getting pushed back out again. So that's how we'll play that. Done there. Let's move. Oh, we're taking that out. Move up one here. Be done there. And let's head back to the other side. This is towards the end of part 2 here. The video will end soon, so I'm going to have to block the camera. I think there's no other way to do it. Push them up here. Here, and I'm going to leave them there actually. So, okay, that just leaves the artillery there. Artillery where? Artillery here. That's a full strength French foot artillery is going to throw 1/2 hex range, 3 dice at the Prussian line. That is one of the Prussian line units that's adjacent to the walled farm. 1s, 2s, 6s. We got a single hit. Let's mark that. But you're not going to believe this. There are only 1 strength, so that is another eradicated Allied unit and another victory banner. Should be victory banner number 9 for the French. They were already down to 1 strength, so some good rolls and specifically good artillery rolls by the artillery has really helped out the French here tonight. So the drinks are on me for artillery. Another victory banner. That's crazy. If you look down here, you probably can't see it. You can see some of the, well, let's just move the damn camera. You can see the extent of the Allied losses versus the French. It's pretty stark contrast. So another victory banner it is. That wields 9 as and just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 of them. We only need 15, so the French are well on their way to victory here. I don't know. To be honest with you, I really don't know how the Allies could play this strategically or tactically better or different. There's 1 shit left. I don't know how that happened. 6. Allied leader number 6, who probably already activated. Let's verify. 5, 6 is here. No, we did not. How interesting. 1, 2. He only has 1 unit he could activate, and they've got nothing they can do, so that's a bust. But we will move him up. Right. In fact, let's go right here. That puts him in proximity with a lot more units and within command throw of a lower leader here. So if he succeeds with his command, he can put him in command. If any of this makes sense, that's great. You guys are geniuses. Not to say that I've complicated it to such an extent that only I can understand it, but I guess what I'm getting at is, if you guys are following along what's going on, I feel like it's working out. Is it just me? I know I've said this before. I like the way this system is playing out. No, I do. I like the way this is working out. Let's check comments here. Anything else? No. Okay. I'm going to do a little house cleaning here. And then we'll cut you loose. That means all of this stuff, all of our out of command markers, in command markers. So there's that, I guess. It's a bit more legwork as far as markers, but I feel like it's worth it. Again, I feel like it's what I've got going here is a sweet spot between realism and still game playability. Is that what I'm trying to say? Or there's always, you could play the game the way it's meant to be played, and you don't have to do all this. I don't know. But I can't. Literally, there's a flaw within me. It's in my DNA. Can't play the thing the way it's meant to be played. Good allies there, everybody know. All these. Oh, I got a whole fistful of markers and stuff here. I think that's it. If I don't get everything, it's really going to mess you up. Or mess me up when it comes to the next go round. So we must make sure we get all of the things. All of the things. Clean up the French. You guys get St. Patrick's Day plans, parades, drink green beer, and I guess puke up green beer depending on how much of it you drink. I don't know. Everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day, right? Whether you're Irish or not. I think it should be a holiday. It should be you should get the day off work for. There's no holidays in March. National holidays where you get a day off work. That should be one, right? Huh? Why not? Blocking the camera again. Sorry, y'all. I think that does it. No, this worked, and I probably would have come to this sooner since part one, but I really wanted to iron out some ill-perceived wrinkles that were popping up a little too high for me. And I think I tamped them down pretty good this time. Told myself not to overcomplicate it, stop overthinking it. Okay, that's it. Good to go. As long as you enjoy it, all good to modify your liking. We could apply that to life, huh? As long as you're enjoying how you're living your life, it's steady as she goes. Keep modifying your life accordingly. Words of wisdom, Ryan. Words of wisdom. Anything else? One last thought? Nothing? So it's been about an hour, a little over an hour. This is a good run. This was a good, part two was a good part. I feel like this went well. All right. Part three coming up soon. Why? Because whereas I would typically work tomorrow, the air conditioning blew up. Not literally, but it doesn't work at work. So off tomorrow, so could potentially come back to this tomorrow at some point. If I do, it'll be midday, say between, I don't know, anywhere between 10 and 12, probably 11 and 12. And that's for the good English folk there in England. So that's not like they're Betty by time, and they can watch too. All right, I've gone on long enough. Thanks for listening. Thanks for putting up with me. I always appreciate you guys watching and your comments. And we'll talk most likely tomorrow. Have a good night.